We got Mr. Marcos on the call. He's probably got the top ghostwriting agency on Twitter, making over like 110K a month. Absolutely crushing it.
DMs, right? So I mean, right now I'm focusing on LinkedIn. Sorry to jump in. I don't know if anybody else had anything, but um, uh, what are your thoughts on doing these DMs? I'm sorry if I can ask a better question versus like letting. Yeah, everybody has different processes, but is it you think very high value to do
Yeah.
DMs?
Yeah, the way I always thought about lead gen is I don't like putting things up to chance. So sitting there waiting for, and I'm like this for my clients and I'm like this for myself. It's like if I need like for an agency, you don't always need leads, but if you do, why are you going to sit there and wait for them to come to you? Seems a little bit counterproductive, and I can assure you, your competition is not waiting. So especially when I started, it's like I still do outbound today. Whenever I want a specific person, if I'm like, ooh, I think I could run that guy up like pretty big, I just outbound him. Like, I'm not afraid. You know what I mean? And now at my level now with my audience, my DMs don't get ignored, which is nice. But even at the lowest level, like volume and having the math behind you is really important. So, like on LinkedIn, for example, and I'll just give you the cadence. You can do 200 outbound connection requests a week. So that's 40 a day, 5 days a week. And you can use the Sales Navigator to outbound people who are following you or viewing your profile that are within your target market. Very simple. So that is a really great cadence for LinkedIn. And the cool thing about LinkedIn is you can't do more than that without getting banned. So you might as well just do that, right? I don't even use InMail on LinkedIn. I just do connection requests. Aim for 50% acceptance on your connection requests. And on those 50% acceptance, that's 50 conversations, or sorry, that's 100 conversations on the 200 outbound. And then you want to aim for like a 10% lead to call ratio. So 200 outbound, 10 calls would be decent. And that grows as your personal brand grows, etc. But my point is, since you have math behind it, you can now just reverse engineer all the issues. So if you're getting 20% connection acceptance, why? Is it the initial connection request message? Is it the targeting? Is it your personal brand, etc.? And then after they accept, are you not getting 10% lead to call? Is it your script? Are you weird? Do you have a weird profile picture? Right? You could start to actually identify issues and then fix them, but you can't do that without the math. And you can't have math if you're not doing the inputs on those DMs. So when you're doing inbound only, it's like, what's your input? Make content? Okay, cool. It's like it's really, really like low effort to just hope that people come in. So yes, in short, do outbound, especially sub like 50K a month.
Yeah, you said a lot there. I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it and take it a step at a time is what I'm thinking right now, what I'm focusing on because I don't want to overwhelm I want to follow this right process and that way have everything. But
Yeah.
I have a question on these scripting or these relation. Is it better to build relationships from the beginning, especially if like for me, I'm just starting off? Like is there any way I mean, I asked Dakota this, and I think it's a good way just to be curious and stuff like this. But how you would think about this when you're connecting with people?
In terms of like building and nurturing the relationship.
Yeah, so that way maybe down the road, or maybe in a
Yeah.
week or 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, it'll go much longer than that. Like building the relationship. You never want to have like a bad ending to a conversation. Like you are essentially think of every DM as like laying a seed. And if you lay those seeds, some grow faster than others. But I've had clients and I still have prospects now who I've been working on for a year, 2 years. People that I meet at events years ago now come to me because they trust me. They're like, "Oh, you're still doing this? Wow, now I really trust you." I had a prospect the other day who I've essentially been working on for like a year and a half, and he's like, it shows that you still do this and that you're serious. And I'm like, I know. So like, yes, nurture the relationships. Obviously, if you can get them on a call right away, that's great. But not everybody needs your service right away. But it's your job to put it out there that you have the service in the first place.
Is there anything that you follow up on, like maybe provide some value or something, or anything specific?
Yeah, you'd want to do like value-driven follow-ups is kind of what I learned in the game, rather than just like bump or like arrow or like emoji. That stuff's cooked, especially for agencies. You want to do value-driven follow-up. So in your follow-up, say, hey, by the way, I recently helped someone do this, or by the way, I have a whole entire breakdown on how you can do this, and it's like a link to an unlisted video. So I have a few unlisted videos that I did for value-driven follow-ups that were, should you choose Twitter or LinkedIn? I had one that was the 100K a month info marketing funnel. I did a couple of these on my whiteboard back there. It wasn't this whiteboard, I was in Miami, but it was on a whiteboard nonetheless. And I would send a follow-up message with a link to that video, and then I would essentially follow up after 3, 5, 7, 10 days, 30 days, whatever. I would have a set follow-up reminder in my CRM, and I would go and send those. If I send 2 or 3 follow-ups and then they don't answer, I mean, like, you can move on. But yes, value-driven follow-ups are super, super strong.
Yeah. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Um, yeah, so with connection requests, do you send them blank or are you sending a message with every connection request?
So if I were doing them B2B, I would do it with a connection request message, but in B2C, so this is more like from the client side, honestly, just blank, because it's like it's just a time ratio. Because you got to keep in mind that these outbounds are on top of inbounds. So you're also getting inbound connection requests if you're doing content at, at scale. So it's like you don't really have time. Plus, you have conversations from yesterday, follow-ups from yesterday. Like, the time input of doing it is not perfect there for scale. But if I'm like an agency, I'm gonna take the time to craft a message and like put some effort into it.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Okay,
'Cause you
so
don't
for
have to.
you consider ghostwriting kind of B2C then.
I'm ghostwriting for clients who are B2C in a sense, but you can be ghostwriting. Like if you're ghostwriting for a B2B software, like on HubSpot, like if you're ghostwriting the founder of HubSpot, you are now technically ghostwriting B2B. So it really just depends on who your target market is, but you might have both if you're not super niche down. But me personally, I work with B2C.
Right. Yeah, for your client stuff, yeah. I guess a follow-up question to that. I know that you have like appointment setters in the DM for your clients. How important would you say that is for like lead generation? Um, do you think that obviously I know that content alone can work, but I guess
Yeah.
how much of a difference did that make when you actually added appointment setters?
Yeah, so it's like two different ways to look at it. If you like inbound only works, it works fine and it works really well, especially when the content's working really well. But inbound only will never work as good as inbound and outbound. I am super greedy and I just want my clients to scale to millions of dollars. So I'm like, it's like I would never tell my client, yeah, just do inbound only, but you're just gonna make less money. There's no world where you make less money when you send more DMs. So I've kind of indoctrinated all of our clients into making sure they have a setter because my clients just care about making a bunch of money. So yeah, like for example, you could have a big old audience and do 50K on inbound only, but you could have done 250K with the outbound. You know what I mean? So you like I said, it works without it. And if you're not like, for example, on a rev share, then sure, go do inbound only. But the thing is with your clients is they will not stay with you long term if they are not making an ROI on their investment. And unless you do a really heck of a good job at translating their brand growth to monetary value, the dopamine wears off pretty fast. And you need to have a dollar figure in front of them that you generated. And the best way to guarantee that dollar figure being high is with outbound.
Okay. So you're doing like rev share deals at this point with them
Yeah, I've been doing
with your
rev shares
clients.
for a while. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we've done some
Awesome.
non-rev share deals, and like for example, for like the nuance here is like, I don't know if what's a big name in the space? I don't know. Alex Hormozy comes to me and is like, I need a ghostwriter. I'm not gonna be like, no, rev share. I need a fucking percentage of acquisition.com, right? I'm gonna take higher profile people just on a slightly bigger retainer. But in general, most people, yes, rev share. But I will take like celebrity status people on non-rev share for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
good to have that case study and they almost always refer you someone.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything's
Plus,
nuanced, by the way. Like it's big thing. My favorite word this year right now is like nuance because it's like rarely black and white, except the outbound thing. That is black and white.
makes sense. Cool.